Packers took a step back today. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Packers got worse from yesterday to today. Hate to see it.
I'd play devil's advocate right away. 2 minutes within being back.
You don't believe it.
Over the last 4 years, he's played 50% of the snaps, so how much better or worse could they get when he hasn't been on the field?
But there's no doubt when he does play, he plays at an all-pro level.
But
and you need
that hasn't been the case. So we basically know what the Packers are without Jair Alexander.
But the Packers have also fallen short of the ultimate goal of even getting close to a Super
Jair
Bowl.
Alexander was playing when they made a run in 2023 and had a big impact,
Huge impact
in those games.
Huge impact.
Still didn't get it done.
Yeah, well,
So?
it wasn't necessarily his fault that they didn't make it work against the 49ers. He did his part against, what's that receiver's name for the 49ers? Not Debo.
Brandon Ayuk.
Brandon Ayuk.
Formerly of them now. Huh?
I just look at this.
Are they worse off?
They are worse off.
800-990-3776. Bradley says they are.
I think they are. I think Goody botched it. I mean, when you look at the timeline and all this happened, as a Packer fan, you just look at this and you must just feel so frustrated because as our montage made by Alex Strofe played, Goody said right off the bat, we've invested a lot in him. He's a good player, so if he's not going to be with us, we want to get something back for him. So I thought to myself, okay.
He a lie.
He a lie, Kyle. But you thought to yourself, you know what? If he's not going to be a Packer, you're under control of him. He's an all-pro player when he is healthy. Top 10 cornerback, according to Pro Football Focus, when healthy. And
big PFF guy, Brad Norton.
Well, it's all stats, baby. You know I love some stats. And you'd say, okay, if we're going to get a draft pick out of him, another extra capital to have in the draft in Lambeau, I guess that's okay, even though it hurts the Packers a little bit. Goody goes in. Proclaims he's going to be traded, doesn't address the cornerback position in the draft, exits the draft looking at the cornerback room thinking, oh boy, we're a little bit thin here. We need to get Jair back. Reinitiates conversations with Jair. Wants to have him back. A complete about face from what he said earlier. Jair now has the leverage. He uses that to his advantage. And now the Packers are in a position where if they're not willing to give him his contract, they got to release him. That's exactly what happened. Goody botched it. He either should have executed the trade and just done it. Not gotten greedy, just done the trade. Or find a way to bring him back because now you're left with nothing when you had a guy under contract for at least 2 more seasons. Unacceptable, and I think that the room is much worse because of it.
On the Carbless Talk and Text line 800-990-3776, Cody chimes in. Don't know how they got worse if he never played.
That's not true. He never played as crazy. So this is the thing, is that we can't sit here and overreact. I'm not going to overreact without losing Jair Alexander, but I will say this team did not get better, and they did get worse. And he did play. He played 43% of the snaps the last couple seasons. The last 2, he played 35% of the snaps. So I understand he did not play a lot, but he made an impact. We talk about the fact in that game against Philadelphia, the Eagles, the first game, yes, there was a big play that was made early on in that football game for a 67-yard touchdown by A.J. Brown. But other than that, Jair Alexander had an interception in that game. He played well in that game. The game against the Tennessee Titans, guess what? When we did not have our star quarterback in Jordan Love, that means your defense needs to step up. And who was one of the players that stepped up on the defense? A guy you depend on, and Jair Alexander, who had a pick 6 in that game. So what I'm saying is this. You're losing a guy that has the ability to rise to the occasion when you need him to. We can't forget the Dallas Cowboy game when he rose to the occasion. He didn't play a full season that year either. And so when I look at this, the Green Bay Packers got worse because now they have less reliable guys at corner. Now you got to figure out, are we going to play cover 3? What are we going to do in order for us to make up for the loss of Jair Alexander? And the reason why I feel like the Green Bay Packers are in a worse position today than what they were yesterday at this time.
What happened to not overreacting?
No, I'm not overreacting. I'm just giving out the facts. We're in a worse position because of the fact that you don't know what you're going to do. You don't have playmakers on defense. What is the next thing Goody is going to do? Because we all know going into next season, if it's Hobbs, Nixon, and Valentine at corner, that room is not strong. This room is not solid, and you put much more pressure on a defensive line that we don't believe in, and then also on a safeties group that they can only do so much. So for me, when I look at this move by the Packers, Goody, fine. Do what you want to do. But what you're showing is you're showing that you're not out here to win championships. You're out here to be sustainable. And that is a problem. As a Packers fan, I want us to always win. But as a Packers fan, I want to win the Super Bowl. I want to win a championship. And Goody has shown everybody this entire offseason is that the goal is not to win a championship. The goal is to put a good football team out there, but it's not to make sure this team can win a title.
Here's my thing right now. I'm seeing a lot of
but we're not overreacting.
Let's not overreact or relax.
But the goal is definitely
not going to win a championship.
I don't want to overact.
We're not. Just to be clear, the news came out today. We're not going to overreact. but they are significantly worse than they were before from Brad
how
and
are they
Kyle.
not, though?
But we're not overreacting.
I'm not-
though.
But wait, but
no,
real
no, no.
talk.
But we're
Real
not
talk.
overreacting.
I'm not overreacting, but real talk. How many guys on this roster are all pro level? Tell me. We just lost one, so one's down. Who else?
Look, I actually was going to kind of agree with you. I was just going to make fun of the way you guys went into your arguments. You guys went in so soft. You were like,
Soft?
You weren't. He was.
How was I soft? I said,
You said, listen, I'm not going to overreact,
I'm
and
not
then
gonna
went on a monologue of everything that felt like an overreaction.
No, everything I said was truthful. It's factual. When you look
So
at this,
if-
you're going to
if
get me
it's
upset.
truthful, it's
I'm
not-
trying to start 35 now, thinking about my blood pressure, but you're going to make me mad. Big
All right.
Russ.
Well, I haven't said anything. Let's let Chris Muskego, who says y'all a bunch of fools. And I like to take myself out of that because I haven't actually said anything yet. I'm just calling out their overreactions. Chris, what do you got for those fools that I
Stop
do this
using
show
that
with?
the hotkeys.
Oh no, where'd he go? 800-990-3776, the Carbless talking text line. List is more. Are Brad and Kyle overreacting?
So what are your thoughts?
My
How do you feel
thoughts
about
are
this?
I'm disappointed that Jair isn't a Green Bay Packer. I think they obviously, if he was able to, if this is part of this is business, if they were able to find a way to make him part of the team, it obviously would make them better when he's on the field. But at the end of the day, I'm starting to struggle with the idea that Goody and Mark Murphy are selling me something and they're providing me something different on the field. That is ultimately what I'm starting to feel. Chris and Muskego, you are on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys, they tried trading him, but the other team said no, they ain't going to pay Alexander's salary. So they brought him back. Alexander didn't want to negotiate. See you later. You haven't played in half the games of the season. You're not worth that contract you signed when you begun with, and I can't see why Green Bay would want to keep paying him that value of a contract when he's not on the field. Now, they got Valentine, and they got Nixon. Valentine's basically been a starter. He might not be top in the NFL, but he's been a legit starter. Nixon's been playing pretty good. He's not a superstar, but he's been playing pretty good.
And I don't disagree, Chris, but here's what I want to ask you real quick is, like, you say these things like, yeah, Valentine, he's been a starter. Nixon hasn't been that, bad. He's been pretty good. I heard Jason Wilde this morning saying the same teams, but what does that mean about your favorite football team? What does that mean about the Green Bay Packers, who haven't been to a Super Bowl since 2010? You're talking about, serviceable starters? Do you want to win an NFC North divisional title to get yourself a 1 or a 2 seed in the playoffs? Or do you want to be 10-7 or 9-6 and go the wild card route? Because right now, I don't feel that confident heading into 2025, and that's not an overreaction. This is based off the reality of what we've seen post Hall of Fame quarterbacks. What is the Packers' direction post Hall of Fame quarterbacks? They're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to do the same methods that they've been doing the last 30 years without a Hall of Fame quarterback. Maybe quote yet. We don't know. I'm optimistic that Jordan Love is going to have a good season. I do believe in the offense, but I don't believe in the team and the vision and the way the whole organization is just not connected. They just feel so disconnected. They've consistently been good, not great. And this is another way that it proves not that this was the right or wrong move. You can have that opinion yourself about Jair Alexander not being back. But then when you look at what they have in the room, it is the same thing. It is good, not great. And so, like I said, I'm getting sick. My stance about all this is I'm getting sick of being told I have a 3 to 5 year plan, or like the Rob Domofsky article about, Goody and Murphy and what the plan is. I'm not buying what they're selling me. It's just not matching up.
Yeah, there is no legitimate plan for a championship. I know that.
Well, and this is how you do know, because, yes, I'm not sure that the trade market was as robust as we all thought, but Jordan Schultz reported today that the Packers and Bills were close on trading Alexander, but they eventually fell through, but they showed real interest. So we don't know if it was the salary. We don't know if it was what the Packers were asking for. But the fact that you put him on the trade block, you say we cannot get nothing for him. We have to get something for him.
His own words.
His own words, which I respect. If you would have said, he's not part of our long-term plan, we need a draft pick out of him. Okay, then trade him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Jerry kind of put him in his pocket.
And then
Jair put the Packers in their pocket.
yeah, he really did. And then he held on to leverage when the Packers didn't address it. That's how you know. Goody is telling you he doesn't believe in the cornerback room because he groveled back to Jair Alexander to try to make it work.
He spun the block.
A complete about
Spin the
face.
block.
And Jair said, no thanks. Pay me my money.
All right, we're going to hear a lot of this today. I understand. I appreciate John in Milwaukee's perspective. I know he's not a Jair guy. Jair, your name's not Jair. John in Milwaukee, what do you got on Jair on the Carbless Talking text line?
Hey, guys, beautiful day. I don't understand why, with a guy who's played half of the games of what he was contracted for, you're so in love with him. Brad yesterday said we should overpay him. Oh, we should overpay him. There was no groveling. He didn't want him back. And so everybody believes, oh, they tried, they just couldn't get it done. No, they had no interest in him. He's not good. Other teams didn't want him.
So
It's
what about
done.
Goody going back?
Yay!
What about Goody going back to him, trying to make it work? What does that tell you about the cornerback room in Goody's eyes?
That's letting everybody know that I'm not paying you anything. And everybody else in the league knowing, oh, we can get him cheap. I'm surprised they didn't make him the last and final cut to make it so inopportune for him. Because he would have came in this week, faked an injury, and collected the money. That's what he would have done.
You know what's crazy to me when I think about this? You got a guy who everybody knows who's an elite talent, and even Mark said it. Mark Murphy, the Green Bay Packers president, he says he's elite talent, just got injured a lot, and that's the one thing why I never blame Jair Alexander. We act like people are upset and mad at Jair.
Yeah, I mean,
he gets hurt. Yeah, he tore his PCL last year. Like he had a torn ligament, and we're mad the guy didn't play through it. And this is why I'm always for players get your money. Get every single penny you can get. I'm not mad that Jair sat out because at the end of the day, had Jair tried to play through that knee injury and did not play well, then everybody's talking about how he lost a step. He lost a step and he's old. Or if he could have damaged his knee more, the end result was the Green Bay Packers going to move on from Jair at the end of the season, whatever was going to happen. And so, again, when I look at this, I'm not mad at Jair. I'm more mad at Goody because Goody does not have a vision, as Ben said. Goody has no idea what he really wants. He does, and I know it ain't championships. Because if he wanted championships, he's not drafting a guy in the second round for the future. If he wanted championships, he's not drafting a wide receiver for the future. That's what he was doing. He was thinking about how can I make sure this team is still good 2 to 4 years from now versus how can I put this team in a position to win a championship this year. And it's extremely disappointing because as we discussed before, there's going to be a lot of roster turnover. And you got to have some type of cohesiveness in order to win championships. Bradley Nortman played for a team that went to a Super Bowl. And it didn't happen overnight. But what did y'all do, Brad? Y'all built yourselves up to that. Then in what, year 4 of you guys being together, year 3 or 4, you finally went to a Super Bowl. The Packers at this point, we're in year 3 of Jordan Love, and the Super Bowl ain't nowhere in sight.
Well, and that's why I'm confused about John calling. It sounds like he's out for blood for Jair Alexander. But meanwhile, this is a team full of good players, very few all-pros. Jair Alexander, probably the most accomplished draft pick in Goody's entire tenure. The only all-pro, for sure, multiple-time all-pro. So to try to figure out a way to get him on your team or be compensated for it, that makes all the sense in the world to me. But to want to get compensated with on that, and then to grovel back, try to get him back on your roster, only to release him when Jair has the leverage, that's a mistake. That's poor GM for Goody over the last couple months.
800-990-3776. What is your reaction to Jair Alexander not being a Green Bay Packer moving forward? He has been cut. I do want to hear from Mark Murphy on the other side. I know Alex Strofe has been little bit antsy back there to get on the microphone after Bradley and Kyle were talking a little Jair. I think, again, my stance has less to do about Jair and more about trying to understand what the vision is to win a championship. Not that Jair would make them, in my opinion, all of a sudden a Super Bowl caliber team, but in order to win a Super Bowl, as Kyle mentioned after John, you need talent. And Mark Murphy, who we'll hear from next, talks about Jair as a talent who couldn't stay healthy. And I think that is what we're missing in this Jair situation is, yes, all unfortunate the last 4 years he's played 50% of the snaps, but teams that win championships have talent. And I feel like they're lacking just that next level talent right now altogether as a team. They have bits and pieces. They have pockets of pieces of talent everywhere, but not talent everywhere. Just pockets. More next.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Craig Counsell bobblehead that was given away, and we, just did a nice, soliloquy? Is that the right word?
Yeah, like a montage.
Like a Virgil.
Vigil?
Vigil.
A vigil. We did a vigil.
Vigil.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards. They're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel. It's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. Want in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
The Protect the Package golf outing takes place on August 16th at Ironwood Golf Course. Come be a part of the most unique outing in the state while helping loved ones battle cancer. Proceeds benefit the This Time Tomorrow Foundation. Sign up your foursome at thistimetomorrow.org under the Events tab.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Hey there, Brewers fans. We've got a new way for you to watch the Brew Crew this season. FanDuel Sports Network. And now there are more ways to watch the Brewers than ever before. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action. Or, new this season, Brewers Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit GetMyHomeTeams.com to learn more.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One Collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One Collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One Collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kessler's nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Your place on the lake. The Golden Mast offers lakeside dining, casual menu, live music 4 nights a week, happy hour, Sunday brunch, weekly specials, and more. Visit goldenmastin.com for details. The Golden Mast, your place on the lake. goldenmastin.com.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Ellis, Brad Nortman. Good to be with you on this Monday. Alex Strofe running the show. UKBN Nation, as always, 800-990-3776. The Carbless Talking text line. That's where Kevin chimes in as we're discussing Jair Alexander being cut from the Green Bay Packers. What a long, strange road it has been. From saying there was a 99.9% chance that he's likely not going to be with the team, to then, next thing you know, he's like, I'm going to show up at these virtual OTAs. You don't see a lot of cornerbacks drafted in the NFL draft by the Green Bay Packers. To a reconciliation or a restructure potential. To all three options being on the table. Cut, trade, restructure. To just cut. All that just to get cut. So we go to Kevin and Sheboygan here, because I really don't want to get stuck too much on Jair. I will want to hear from Alex Strofe as well, though, because he says, Kevin Sheboygan here, anyone that thinks Jair being on the roster makes them a Super Bowl team simply doesn't know ball. He's not an all-pro caliber player and hasn't played for 3 years. Goody lowballed him after no one else wanted him. We also have no idea what the DB room will look like. So saying they won't be good enough is asinine.
It's not. And
that's my fundamental problem. My fundamental problem with the first part of this goes back to saying that Jair being on the roster, making them a Super Bowl team, doesn't know ball, right? Like he's saying if you think that he's on the team and they're a Super Bowl caliber team, you don't know ball. Him being on the team and having talent makes you closer to a Super Bowl team. It doesn't make you further away. That's my problem with all this.
I always think and shout out to KBN Nation, is that I just want to ask the question for KBN Nation who does not believe Jair Alexander could be a difference maker. I get it. He didn't play enough and it was annoying. It annoyed everybody here.
It's frustrating.
But I bet you when Jair Alexander in the playoff game was punking CeeDee Lamb, I bet you were celebrating and clapping for Jair Alexander. And that was in the last 3 years that the so-and-so KBN Nation person who we love, who said he didn't play in the last 3 years, but I guarantee you during that game you celebrated. I guarantee you last year in the game against the Eagles when he got a touchdown scored on him, you were mad, but then when he got an interception, you were celebrating. I bet you last year when he scored a touchdown against the Titans, you were celebrating. So again, I understand that we're frustrated by him not being available enough, but to say that the Green Bay Packers are going to be fine without him.
We don't know what the room looks like. We kind of do. You're going to tell me that the kick returner turned slot corner turned outside corner with a young Carrington Valentine who I like? But we also have to be honest with ourselves. When we're looking at a team that hasn't been to a Super Bowl since 2010, and they had a Hall of Fame quarterback during that tenure. And if you're going to have unknowns about what Jordan Love is, and you're hoping he does take that, as Kyle would say, next step, you need a lot of other things to be certain. And I don't want, that's my hard part about the last part, is we have no idea what the DB room will look like. Exactly why I don't feel good about it.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of points where I can understand fans being upset with a player not playing. They're making all this money, and they should be on the field. I understand that. However, when Jair plays, you can't tell me he's a bad player. When the last 2 seasons, when he played 15 and 16 games, 2020 and 2022, he was all pro. He was all pro. And over the last several years, when he does play, Pro Football Focus had him as the 9th best cornerback in the NFL. So I won't hear that when he plays, he is not a difference maker. He is a difference maker. Now, I will say, I understand the argument of not being out there enough. Totally understand that. So then trade him. Like, if you know he's not a part of the plan, trade him at whatever cost. But to trade him for nothing isn't good enough. And here's the other thing. Yes, I did say you should just bring him back on $17 million because you're saving $6 million now. Okay, great. How are you going to use $6 million to make this team better?
Exactly.
Nobody's saying they're a Super Bowl contender, a Super Bowl favorite with Jair. I do say, though, they take a step back. They're further away, as Ben Bruce said, they're further away from being a Super Bowl contender without him on the roster. So tell me, how are you going to use $6 million to make this team better and to make up for the loss of Jair? Because when Keyshawn Nixon came out and said, I want to be cornerback 1, you know how the coaches responded to that? They didn't stamp that.
They did not.
They
all.
sort of backpedaled. They said, well, this is a conversation. He's still a punt returner. He did a lot of good things. I'm sorry, but I don't feel good about Keyshawn Nixon guarding the following receivers in 2025.
Who we got to guard this year?
Jamar Chase.
Okay.
Justin Jefferson twice.
All right.
Amon-Ra St.
Quick time out. You can also add the wide receiver twos into the first two that you mentioned, Higgins and Jordan Addison.
And you might as well add it now, too, because Amon-Ra St. Brown twice and Jamison Williams twice. You got A.J. Brown, Malik Neighbors, C.D. Lamb, Terry McLaurin, George Pickens, which is true. He's a good second receiver.
Just for the record, Strofe didn't say that on air. He said in your ear, so you laughed to nobody.
Behind radio.
I was being serious for the record. George Pickens as a wide receiver, too, is a problem.
It's a significant problem.
Flowers, Judy, DK, Harrison Jr., we feel good about this room with a not very good D-line being able to compete in a passing league. I just don't get it. The Packers got objectively worse, and I think it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to bring him back because if he plays at an all-pro level. He just hasn't played enough. Risk it. Gamble it. Why not?
And when I think about it again, all championship teams are made the same. But when I look at the Green Bay Packers 2010-2011 championship team, they had guys at every single level that were really good, right? You had a defensive line where Cullen Jenkins at that time was shining. You had Clay Matthews rushing the passer. But you also had Tramon Williams, who was playing at a significantly high level. You have Nick Collins, who probably, if he did not get hurt, they'll probably be talking about, oh, man, he's a great guy. Would he be a Hall of Famer? And then you had Charles Woodson. So that's the type of team and type of talent it takes to win championships. You don't, again, Jair did not play enough, but that's the type of talent it takes to win championships. No shot at Carrington Valentine, Hobbs, or Keyshawn Nixon, but you ain't Charles Woodson, you ain't Teron Williams. The closest thing we got is Nick Collins with Xavier McKinney. This defense has way too many holes in order for this team to compete for championships. I understand Jair might have only played 12 games this year, but 12 games plus the playoffs gives you a better shot to be able to win championships.
Where'd you get the number 12 from? Just out of curiosity.
You said what?
Where did you get, if he only played 12 games this year? I'm just curious, for a guy that has not played 12 games since 2020, where did you get the number 12?
He played in 2022. He played 16 in 2022.
Yeah, but over the last 4 years, he has not played over half the games.
What he played 9 in 10 games?
Here's my thing. Why don't you just risk it? Like, you save $6 million.
This is so weird coming from the finance guy.
Like, you save,
what are you losing?
You save $6 million.
All right, I see Strofe ready to blow a gasket.
Why not try to play it? Because when he plays, he's good.
I have an idea. Wheel of Strofe. Wheel of Strofe. And Strofe can do whatever he wants. Coming up next.
Is the whole wheel going to say Jair?
This is Kyle Bruston Northman.
So they are lucky. Those other teams, whether it's Kentucky or whether it's Oregon or was it TCU?
That was TCU.
TCU, they're lucky I didn't play in that game. You got upset by a bad team, TCU.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you. Growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you. Buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you. Building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Turn your driveway into the basketball court of your dreams with Precision Sports, Southeastern Wisconsin's dealer for Mega Slam, Ironclad, and Dominator hoop systems. From installation to customizable painted court lines, Precision Sports is a slam dunk. PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties Blue Bunny Dairy Dessert, 2 for $7. 8.2 to 20 ounce selected varieties CPAC Seafood, $6.99. 7 to 15 ounce selected varieties Rana Pasta or Sauce, 2 for $7. 2 to 6 count selected varieties Northern Bath or Brawny Towels, $6.99.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers.
Safe. Okay. Ooh, pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology, and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Summertime is the time for all the big events. Weddings, milestone birthdays, even corporate events. Elevate every event with Noble Catering, a premier craft caterer in southeastern Wisconsin, preferred by over 30 venues. Noble Catering is also the exclusive caterer of Villa Terrace, an East Side event treasure. And coming in 2026, Noble's new headquarters, a 400-person event venue in the heart of Bayview called Brixton's Turn. Book them for your event at noblecateringco.com.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You never know what to expect when the wheel appears. It's time for the Wheel of Strove.
It is Kyle Brust and Nortman with Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, and Brad Nortman, but opinions have been had about Jair Alexander being cut by the Green Bay Packers. Alex Strove sat back patiently. And at 2:30, as we always typically try and do, it's Wheel of Strove time.
Yeah, scrap the wheel. You can still spin it if you want. But
Well,
I've
spin
got
that wheel.
I've got something to say to all three of you.
Spin that wheel.
Basically, there are 10 spots on the Wheel of Strove. 2 of them are push-ups still.
Oh, come on. How many are we at these days?
12.
Okay, I can do that.
And then 8 of them just say Alex.
Right.
Here we go.
Wheel of Strove.
Wait, bad roll, bad roll.
Yeah, it's got to do one full revolution, like Price is Right.
Revolution?
Yes.
You looking for a turn?
12 push-ups.
push-ups.
Get to work.
Let's go.
Get to work. Work out some of that wacky frustration.
And yes,
you
Strove, I
have.
did mean revolution. That means a full circle.
Does
You know,
it?
yeah.
I'm going to trust Brad on this one, hot off the bachelor party. Brain.
Is he counting him out?
No, he's
not counting him out, but we have a witness back there to make sure. Give us a thumbs up. Well, we know it's pathetic. Was it 12?
Are they getting easier, Strove? Do you feel muscle building? I love that.
Yeah, that actually wasn't that bad.
You're going to be hammering out 50 before we know it.
I prefer if
Yeah, right.
I prefer if we draw a line at like 20.
No. That's how you get better. You keep,
All right,
you keep
spin the wheel
rolling.
again.
Wheel. Oh, there's another 12 on there. Wheel of Strove.
More push-ups.
Push-ups.
Push up!
Let's go! 12 more push-ups.
The board knows.
And Strove knows.
The board doesn't lie.
No funny business.
Ben's not even looking at the wheel. As
I can't
he
even
spins
see because I have to
know.
put it next to the microphone so you get the good twist.
So now
6,
24 push-ups.
7,
That's
8.
not nothing.
9.
You can go to your knees
10,
if you need to, Strove.
11, 12.
I'm glad you did the push-up. Obviously, the wheel knows your take on Jair
the wheel knows.
It's getting harder. It's getting harder all of a sudden.
The wheel is protecting KBN Nation.
Up,
stroke.
12.
Ooh, okay,
Close. It was close.
Alex.
Can you guys talk for a second?
No. Get that whack opinion out that you got about Jair Alexander.
Well, who wants to go first? Brad, Bennett?
I'll go first. All right, do you want to win an NFC North divisional title to get yourself a 1 or a 2 seed in the playoffs? Or do you want to be 10-7 or 9-6 and go the wild card route? Because right now, I don't feel that confident heading into 2025. And that's not an overreaction. This is based off the reality of what we've seen.
Oh, wow.
Oh, baby. Now this is some breaking news.
Breaking news. That is an overreaction. That's exactly what that was. If you needed the Packers to release a player that's played less than 50% of the games and has made
Did you listen to the first segment, though? Did I say Jair Alexander was the reason why? Or was it the holistic way they've been building a team?
Why did it take you until June 9th to realize that you don't think this team is championship good?
Because
when they've given you nothing but signs that they're improving and getting closer to a championship.
What are those signs?
They're winning more games. They've been in the playoffs back-to-back years. They have young players that are improving and have shown improvement. They invested in a position of need and wide receiver in the draft.
What about position of need at corner?
I mean, they have the same exact guys that played last year.
Are the Packers better or worse right now than they were yesterday?
They are completely equal as to what they were yesterday.
You can't believe that.
Because Jair was never going to be back. The minute Goody put a piece of paper in front of him, that was without a doubt a low ball. And he didn't agree to a trade, which I don't really know if they had any solidified offers because nobody wanted to take on the contract. We'll get to that in a minute when we get to you, Bradley.
Okay.
I think they're the same. I wanted Jair to be on the roster. I didn't think he would be.
I'm just talking about the roster. Are they a better or worse roster than they were yesterday?
They are the same roster as yesterday.
No, they're not. How can you believe that?
That's crazy.
He's all pro level when he plays. Even if he's not that anymore, he's still better than every other cornerback in that room when he plays.
I don't know that that's a proven fact.
He's one of the top cover corners in the NFL.
You want Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine over
I'm not saying I necessarily
in this scenario
prefer.
if he did play.
I mean, are we certain he's still the former Jair that we're used to?
I'm certain based off last year, yes.
80%, he's better than these guys 100%.
He couldn't stay on the field.
I get that.
That's
but
not what the question's based
Why
off.
don't you risk it to see if he can be healthy?
I don't like when Brad does the risk it thing.
Yeah, the risk it thing.
There is no risk.
There
is no risk. Let's just repeat that. There is no such thing as risk because, as you said, they're not going to take that money and invest it in something else. There was no risk. There was no risk of anything. If he gets hurt, it's just another year. Did they risk putting him out there last year? No. So, no, there is no risk.
For $6 million, you might as well see if he can play.
For $6 million, he would have never signed that.
He wouldn't sign that.
No, that's how much money they save. That's how much. All that matters is the cap. That's all that matters. They save $6 million in the cap by releasing him. Sure, that's great. So they're not going to get better with that $6 million.
Yeah, what are they going to do with that $6 million that makes you happy to get closer to a championship?
I just have a question. Is there anybody missing for mandatory minicamp this week?
Yes.
Why? Who's missing?
Elton Jenkins
and why
is not participating because he wants more money.
Oh, interesting. And what did the Packers get today? Oh, more money. Crazy how that works. Interesting.
They already have $40 million in cap space. Now they have 46.
They have the third most available cap space of all teams in the NFL.
So did they need this?
They didn't need this to sign
him. It doesn't hurt. I don't know why we're complaining about more money when you can shore up the internal things you need to. Zach Tom, Elton Jenkins being the main two examples. And maybe they go spend a little bit of money on a low-risk, high-reward move.
So to be straight here, you do not believe the Packers were a Super Bowl contender before today?
No, I believe they are still a Super Bowl contender today.
And so who do you trust in the cornerback room that makes you believe that?
I think Carrington Valentine has proven he's solid. I think Keyshawn Nixon has proven he's solid. I think Nate Hobbs is a solid guy that can play every position in the defensive backfield. Javon Bullard's got another year under his belt when he plays in the nickel. I think there's plenty to be confident about because we have proof of concept. Jair barely played last year, and all of these guys did.
A lot of solids. That's not really Super Bowl contender-ish lingo.
I can't do 12 more push-ups, so it better not land.
Yeah!
Get the pushing up, buddy.
More push-ups.
12 more push-ups. 12 more push-ups.
Come on, Stroke.
Wheel of Stroke.
You can go on your knees.
12 more push-ups.
Your take sucks. Thank you to the magic of the board. Oh, he's struggling.
The
wheel never lies.
The wheel cannot lie.
It's like a compass. It always points to the one it needs to.
You know how weak you have to be to have
2,
minutes to
3,
rest?
4, 9, 10.
He knocked it out.
11, 11 and a half, 11 3/4.
Okay.
He's red.
You're gonna be
Red as a
sore
tomato.
tomorrow. Legitimately sore.
His girlfriend's going to love that.
Of Stroh.
You're looking pretty strong in your third set. That's pretty good. It was a half inch. Goody botched it. He either should have
He was nervous.
All right, Alex, still your floor.
Goody botched it. He either should have executed the trade and just done it, not gotten greedy, just done the trade, or find a way to bring him back, because now you're left with nothing.
Brad
Strove,
you're better than this.
Come on, give it to me.
You're left with nothing. You're left with what you had last year plus Nate Hobbs.
You're left with a worse roster.
And there was no trade to be had. Nobody wanted to pay him.
How do you know that?
Because there was one report that Buffalo reached out, and Buffalo didn't want to pay his salary. Nobody was going to pay his salary.
It said specifically they didn't want to pay his salary, or the Packers asking
You've
too much?
alluded to the quote from Brian Gutekunst. He tried all offseason to trade him. It's June 9th. They're finally making a decision in June. He's had since mid-March to trade him. You think if he had a good enough offer on the table where somebody said, yep, we'll gladly pay that salary, he wouldn't have pulled the trigger?
But don't you think they might have been asking
a
for
couple
too
of
much?
don't you think offs.
We don't know what they were asking for. They could have offered a 5th round, 6th round. We don't know what they offered.
If they offered a 5th-round pick to pick up his salary, he would have taken it.
I don't know. You think Goody, this is his best draft pick in Goody's tenure?
Yes.
And he's an all-pro level guy. You think Goody has probably a standard by which he wants?
If he had
if
he had an offer, he would have preferred to take the offer than just cut him for nothing. He's talked at length about how he wants. They put a lot into him, an investment into him. He would have liked investment.
Maybe he
back.
talked too much.
I don't think
maybe he showed his hand too much.
I don't disagree with that necessarily.
So again, that's why I question it. I don't know why you're standing on the side of you think that Jair Alexander wasn't good and couldn't improve.
I
his
think
football
it's
team.
David Bakhtiari 2.0.
No.
And the Packers look like the winner post David
hold on.
Bakhtiari.
So why did Goody go back and reopen up negotiations with Jair after the draft?
Because I think
that's what confuses me.
And Will Diaz said this, and we can ask him about it when he joins us in half an hour. But he said this. I mean, we're overblowing what that was. It was a low ball offer. He probably was offered like $3, $4, $5 million, and there's no way Jair was.
What was the point of doing that?
Because that's what the Packers.
But if you felt
that offer was 100% Packers, 0% Jair. It wasn't 50-50.
But if you felt
smoked
confident
myself
in
in the face with that mic. Whoa.
I have a question for you, Alex Stroh on Kyle Broston-Ortman. Are you willing to risk a 20% chance at 12 more push-ups or an 80% chance to play Kyle Wallace audio and respond to him?
That's a great question.
I'm willing to risk it.
Wheel of Stroh! Push-ups! No! Push-ups! No. I have not done anything. Don't you dare do that.
That arrow's on Alex.
No, it's because he moved. When he moved it up, it tilted. But it was on
It
push-ups.
was all in there.
It was on push-ups.
12 more push-ups.
48 push-ups, boy. I'm proud of you.
12 more push-ups.
Objective.
Brad, stand up and just go see how he's doing. Because all I see is a big butt up on stream.
Big butt. Ain't no butt there. That's a
You're
big
right.
back.
A big flat.
He's actually doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good?
Good for him. Is he slowing down?
Going all the way down.
Yeah, but we wouldn't expect that from him.
I mean, he's a little
He wouldn't
weak.
go all the way down.
I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed.
For somebody-
Brad's impressed.
For somebody who doesn't
pretty
actually
I did
have
13 to make him even 49.
Because you had it land on that many times, if you want to pick a bone with Kyle, the floor is yours.
Yeah, what did I do?
I don't know if I
gotta say, Strofe, to let you catch your breath, I thought we were gonna be getting like one of those push-ups that you go down, you go up like an inch, and then you gotta go on your knees. Strofe was banging them out. I'm not sure they were like chest to floor push-ups, but they're pretty good.
All right, he just bought you some breath time. You ready?
Again, Jair did not play enough, but that's the type of talent it takes to win championships. No shot at Carrington Valentine, Hobbs, or Keyshawn Nixon, but you ain't Charles Woodson, you ain't Teron Williams. The closest thing we got is Nick Collins with Xavier McKinney. This defense has way too many holes in order for this team to compete for championships.
Believe it or not, I'm actually going to lead with a compliment to Kyle.
Thank you.
I haven't given the compliment.
Well, you
yet.
said a compliment, so thank you in advance.
Great Tremont Williams plug. Good on you. That was awesome. One of my all-time favorite Packers.
He played at a very high level, didn't he?
During that Super Bowl run? Oh, my goodness.
6 interceptions
he was
that season.
He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, enough pleasantries. This goes back to what I said to Ben. This is the first time since the Packers season ended that you have said the Packers aren't Super Bowl championship level. It's the first time you said it.
Not true.
It's the first time you've said it.
Not true. Not true.
Somebody back me up here.
I mean, he's definitely said it, then he's gone back on it. Yeah, he's
flip-flop around.
Kyle. Yeah.
I mean, flip.
I don't think, and I know we've had texters and callers repeat what the sentiment I'm giving, which is I don't think releasing a guy that is not reliable to be on the field changes your chance of Super Bowl. Because the odds are, and the odds are the proof we've had the last several seasons, if you're making a run to a championship, he wouldn't have been available anyway.
Boy,
on YouTube, great job by Madison Hayes 24 on Instagram. Do you want to see Strofe do 12 more push-ups? You can vote on that on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison.
You got to do what KBN Nation wants you to do. So at the end of the show, if it says yes, you got to do it.
Maybe if I can go in one more time to sort of refine what I mean by risk it.
Well, how about you do that on the other side?
Okay.
And Strofe will do his push-ups in the break.
Hurt. You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman.
We've called him Whitey Tighties. We've called him the Hall Monitor. He's Jesse Nelson. Like, he's just, I am Jesse Nelson. Kyle, you're Jesse Nelson.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Summerfest is almost here, and we're going to send you to all 9 days. It's Summerfest on us. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app and register for your chance to bring a friend and have the best summer ever at the big gig. Summerfest on us. Register today in the ESPN Wisconsin app under the contest tab.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
The Golden Mast is offering relaxing rides on Okauchee Lake aboard their brand new Bay Runner pontoon patio. Enjoy 2-hour cocktail cruises on Thursdays and Sundays. Get tickets at goldenmastin.com. Private event rentals also available. Bigger boat, more people, more fun. goldenmastin.com.
Hey, it's Alex Stroh from Mr. Irrelevant, and we are hitting the road. Friday, June 13th, spooky. We're heading to Door County Distillery in Carlsville. If you're spending the weekend in Door County, come check out Door County Distillery and hang out with us from noon until 2. That's Friday, June 13th at Door County Distillery in Carlsville. But even if you're not heading to Door County anytime soon, you can bring Door County to you with their cherry brandy for your old fashions infused with Door County cherries, whiskeys, rums, and plenty more. Check them out, doorcountydistillery.com.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Until justice stands for all, our lawyers will never rest. More at earthjustice.org/neverrest. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nordman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid.
Jair
Get that boy some water.
Jair Alexander cut by the Green Bay Packers.
Officially yet? Is it official yet?
I think it's just all been recorded. Haven't seen an official thing come from the Green Bay Packers to my email.
Who do you think told Ian Rappaport?
What?
Rappaport.
Rappaport. Who do you think told him? Who leaked it to him?
Probably an
That's a
agent.
great question. I wonder who all these sources are.
It was me.
Schefter users.
I know it wasn't you.
Strofe has an in with the pro shop.
Yeah, Strofe.
They said, hey, we're pulling the Jair jerseys.
Yeah, they're getting a 60% off discount. You better,
Clearance
let
rack.
Rappaport know.
80% is what I heard from my sources, which we know are very reliable.
They typically don't go 80 until it's been over a year. So, like,
big pro shop guy, Alex.
Aaron Jones is probably 80% off now.
We did say, I believe, while you were gone at your bachelor party and Roger signed with the Steelers, I think it was you, Kyle, that did say, listen, you were probably right about your initial report about the Packers. Or
I know, but it doesn't matter.
Once Rodgers did that, but
it doesn't matter.
Hey, it's not. Life's not that easy, Brad. You don't get to be almost right. You're either right or you're wrong, and Ben, unfortunately, was wrong.
Dog eat dog world in the mind of Alex Stroh. But
Journalism 101, baby. Dog eat dog world.
With Jair. Here's what I keep on meaning when you say bring him back. Every great
Well, you don't
team,
say bring him, but you say risk it by bringing him back. And I feel like you hurt arguments by saying risk
Let me refine what I mean by that.
Some different verbiage might help you here.
Every great team I was ever a part of, and Ben, you could probably agree to this too. Every great team I was a part of in college or the pros that made deep runs in the playoffs, championship level teams, you had at least two things. Now, there's culture and things like that. Jair sounds like he's well liked in the locker room. Maybe not by the coaches, but the locker room.
Your teammates love him.
You at least had two things. You had all pro or elite level players at multiple positions in important areas, right? I would say Jair checks that box. Here's the other one. The thing that people get upset about, which I understand, they're healthy. Right? That's something that you can't necessarily project. Great teams that have done number one, all pro level players, elite players, but can't stay healthy, you're not destined to be a championship team. And Jair hasn't held his end of the bargain for staying healthy. Nobody disagrees with that, right? My thing is, number one's hardest to find. It's hard to find elite level players. So, if you want to make a championship push, if you're telling me you think you can win this year, you might as well retain all the elite level players you can and cross your fingers that you stay healthy. Because you're crossing your fingers every year anyway.
You are in football
every year anyway.
But when you have a trend of a guy who has not been able to stay on the field like he has in the last 4 years, that's not a cross of the finger. It's a little bit more than that when you have an injury history and he's changed the way he played since he got hit in the upper body. When he initially was on the team, he was blowing stuff up at the line of scrimmage. They throw a quick pass out there, dunzo. He's not that same elite player. I do agree that when he is on the field to his healthy that he can be, he still is probably better than what they have. But there's too many ifs. I just again, I go back to, it's not that Jair's not coming back. It's the fact that I truly just don't believe that someone can roll off Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, and Carrington Valentine and think, yeah, we're really headed in this Super Bowl direction. Because all I hear about those guys is they're solid. They're this. elite teams win Super Bowls. And if you want to win a Super Bowl, you need elite talent.
And then, again, that's where my mind goes to is, all right, so what is next, Goody? What is the plan? Because this year you're running it out. But at what point are you going to go all in the way that you believe going all in is? And you talked about having elite guys at every single level. You just got rid of one, right? And it seems like the Green Bay Packers just can't get it all right. Even when we had Aaron Rodgers after Devontae Adams, when we had Devontae Adams, we had holes on the defense. And then we moved on from Devontae Adams, and all of a sudden now we don't have a wide receiver. It just seems like the Green Bay Packers have not been willing to put together a full team that can truly compete. They're always leaning on Aaron Rodgers to do something special. Now this year they're leaning on Jeff Hafley to figure out if the cover 3 zone defense can work with Hobbs, with Valentine, and with Nixon as well. So it just seems like the Green Bay Packers are always hoping and wishing versus going into the season saying, oh yeah, we're loaded on offense, now we're loaded on defense. And so that's my biggest issue with the Packers, that you have too many question marks. At what point are you going to eliminate these question marks and capitalize on this window that you have of Jordan Love and the receivers that we hope are going to grow together as well? So it's just disappointing as a Packers fan because you don't come away today feeling like, all right, yep, I'm still excited for the season. We can win a championship. Even the thought of having Jair for 8 to 12 games or whatever, you feel good about him in those games.
And it's one thing if we look at this cornerback room, and we can argue whether I think it's mid or if you think it's good or solid, all very vague descriptors of what a cornerback room is. Nobody's using elite. Nobody's using great. We can all agree on that. If you had a D-line, now I said I'm not going to totally give up on the D-line. I want to give them a little bit more.
Jair being there helped you?
He did. However, I can't go into this scene that this is a great D-line. This isn't a good D-line. I need to see more. I'm not willing to give up on them. But I want you to try to imagine these great receivers we're going to be going against and very high-quality quarterbacks when a D-line that hasn't shown it can consistently get pressure. You're going to have to get pressure elsewhere, leaving the back end more vulnerable. So if you had an elite D-line, I'd say, okay, I get it. I get it. We're going to get pressure on the quarterback. It's going to be the Super Bowl over again. Who needs a great back end when you got a great D-line? But you got two areas, D-line and cornerback, that I think every Packer fan would say those are the position groups I'm least confident in. It's not a great recipe for a pass-centric league.
And that's the thing. Exactly. And that is the thing that people, who gets paid the most on the defense? It's quarterbacks and it's rush ends. That's what it is. Linebackers ain't getting them big. They get big contracts, but they ain't the highest paid guys on defense. It's quarterbacks that get paid and it's rush ends that get paid. And the Green Bay Packers have neither of that. So that should be a cause for concern.
The thing that is happening now is I'm seeing that everyone else believes that there's not enough elite talent on this team on the defense. Because initially, right here, Joey chimes in the Cardinals talking text line. Is Hendrickson still available? Is this clearing cap for him? Dave from Aaron. Well, you got a couple million for Jenkins and Toms, and even say 35 for Hendrickson. But let's be real, that's not happening. And I think that's the part where it's like, yes, they now have the third most cap space in the NFL, but now what? Typically not much other than some vet deals. Pick up like a Devondre Campbell type player who turned into an all-pro. The Rasul Douglases. Those are good, but not great. The common theme.
Jalen Ramsey.
Old friend of mine.
Oh, friend, huh?
Yeah. I call him a friend.
No, I bet he is.
He's not a friend.
Well,
you text him. When's the last time you texted him? Exactly.
Well, the way some of y'all throw friends around here, Stroke texted me this weekend talking about friend. I'm like, boy, we ain't friends.
It's not true. You actually.
What was your
responded.
birthday text to him?
Did you send him a birthday text?
I did.
Ben, did you?
I'm sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, I figured you were.
It's fine.
Your
brother sent me a birthday text, though.
All right,
That's good.
Brad.
You did it for me.
Brad, what? Brad, what did you say?
Kyle was having he's turning 35, a presidential themed birthday party because now he can run for president. So leaning into that, I just said, it's pretty plain. Happy birthday, Kyle. Have a great day, my man. Congrats on being presidential eligible.
No, you're so cliche.
9:29 in the morning.
I waited till noon, 12:11 p.m.
Purposely waited?
I guess I don't know how to answer that. This is just when I did it. I said, happy birthday, my guy. Can't wait for your presidential run. Appreciative of your friendship, which you deny, and leadership. A pleasure to work with you. Have a great party.
Wow. What did he say back?
Ha. Thanks, friend.
Oh, wow. Friend.
What did Kyle say back to me? Yeah, he said, ha. Thank you, man. Enjoy golfing. Where's my friend?
Oh,
Kyle?
you got a man?
Well,
He
no,
got
I
a friend?
Because the whole point of his text was he's trying to say we were friends, and so that's why I
just gave him what he wanted.
I was making fun of him for saying that.
It was a ridicule friend.
Oh, for sure.
But also did say something else after that. that you left
Buy
out of there.
2 get 1. If you were texting him, that's what you should have said. That's what Screamin' is all about. Buy 2 get 1 offer on Screamin' Sicilian at your local Piggly Wiggly stores. All Screamin' Sicilian pizzas are buy 2 get 1 free. That is through June 10th. It's a great time to stock up your freezers with all your Screamin' Sicilian favorites. And I could have been nice to hear about the sponsored birthday party by Palermo's from Kyle Wallace.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, we was eating them up. Gobble, gobble, gobble. We was eating up all the
It's not
different...
Thanksgiving.
Well, I mean, that's the way we were gobbling down all the pizzas. I had 10 different pizzas. We got through 8 of them, and we were full. So I got 2 left, which is fantastic.
And buy 2 get 1 at your Piggly Wiggly stores. I have 4 in the freezer, and I am not cooking or cleaning. I am too tired for all that after the bachelor party, and that is why Screamin' Sicilian will come in handy. We'll be back in 2 minutes as Kyle Bruston-Ortman reacting to Jair Alexander allegedly being cut by the Green Bay Packers. Whole lot more.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh, and right now UWD is running their home improvement season sale. Payments as low as $99 a month or no payments and no interest for an entire year. Call 414-410-2000 or go to universalwindowsdirect.com.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. If you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, call Gruber Law Offices today. Bikers are often blamed for causing the accident because the insurance companies simply don't want to pay. At Gruber Law Offices, we've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Trust us to fight for what you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Hey there, Brewers fans. We've got a new way for you to watch the Brew Crew this season. FanDuel Sports Network. And now there are more ways to watch the Brewers than ever before. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action. Or, new this season, Brewers Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers, including DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit GetMyHomeTeams.com to learn more.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle Bruston-Nortman, KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
Well, literally right before we went to break, I did say allegedly Jair Alexander was being cut. I think this does suffice from the Packers Twitter account. Thank you, Jair with a green heart. No longer a Green Bay Packer. One of the best draft picks that Goody has made. I believe
sure.
13th or 17th. Which one? Or am I wrong?
In the draft?
Yeah.
Oh, he definitely wasn't in it. If he was in the teens, he was probably 18th, 17th. It had to be.
Really?
Yeah.
I know they drafted
the Packers didn't pick high.
the Iowa cornerback Josh Jackson in the same draft, which flopped.
He was
big time.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
18th pick in the draft.
18th overall in the 2000.
That's what Goody cooked, because didn't he move back, then move back up, or did he just move back? That was his first draft.
Strofe, if he signs, If he signs with the Vikings or the Lions, would you be nervous?
Yeah.
So what are we talking about then? What
nervous probably actually isn't the right word. It would just be irritating, and I've done this rant on the show before because it always irritates me every offseason. And this is a common theme overall in the NFL, but I feel like it's especially common when players leave Green Bay. Don't they always end up in the NFC North? And I know that happens in other divisions. It's the teams that see you the most and know your game the most.
I think it happens a hell of a lot more. And I agree, we live it. We're in the NFC North, but I feel like it just happens a lot.
Doesn't it happen all the time where a Packer leaves and they wind up with either typically Minnesota or Chicago, sometimes Detroit?
How many Bears end up as Packers?
Rare.
Yeah, it goes one way. It usually doesn't happen.
Julius Peppers.
Yep, that's one.
Adrian Amos.
That's two. Jonathan Owen. No, he went to Chicago after.
Mm-hmm.
Tunyon went after to Chicago. Aaron Jones. We can go to the Vikings.
Greg Jennings, Desmond Bishop, Ryan Longwell.
Yep.
Wow.
Brett Favre.
I mean, why would we take anybody from those teams when you've dominated the North?
When you're dominating the division, I mean, you're typically not.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd be happy to get a Lion right now. That'd probably be a good sign.
So you can't. So you're nervous about somebody going to a rival.
I don't think nervous is the right word, Kyle.
What word would you use?
Irritated. I would be irritated if he wound up.
Why irritated if it's not that big of a deal?
It's their loss, right?
It's whose loss?
Their loss.
It certainly could end up being their loss. Yeah.
So then why be irritated?
Because he's got 29 other options or 28 other options.
But it's one of the best divisions in football potentially.
And two teams
it's the best division of football.
Okay, then why wouldn't somebody want to go to a team that has a chance to go somewhere?
I'm just saying, if I have the opportunity to go play with a team quarterbacked by Josh Allen or a team quarterbacked by J.J. McCarthy, the choice is pretty obvious.
Yeah, but the path to a championship in the AFC is clearly much harder than a path in the NFC.
Can we still say that as definitively as we used to?
The quarterback situation makes it that way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, Josh Allen would have a Super Bowl.
It's true.
Or appearance.
If based off your own example.
If Jair joins any team you just said, the Bills, the Vikings, does he make that team better?
If he plays. It's the same conversation we've had for the last. If he plays.
I'm not denying his skills if he plays, but that's the issue, and that's why I compared it to Bakhtiari. When Bakhtiari was healthy despite managing the knee issues, we would all agree he's a great player.
Well, that's different. Bakhtiari
and again,
retired, basically.
Well, right. The Packers were viewed the winner on that
but
one.
This is different.
Instead of, to use Brad's terms, they didn't try to risk it again with Bakhtiari. They just cut their losses and moved on. And that's what the Packers did today with Jair.
Jair's probably going to play this year.
Well, if he plays this year, yeah.
I believe David Bakhtiari's cap savings was $20 million or something like that.
I think
too.
it was left
big.
tackle. It was more than Jair, but I think again the Packers will be proven the winner in this scenario, just like they were with Bakhtiari.
I genuinely want to know because it's not just about Jair. It's just about the Packers. It's about the fact that this is year 3 of Jordan Love being a starter. Are they someone you can actually get behind as a Super Bowl contender? Because they're plus 2,000. They don't have.
Just out of curiosity, what does that rank? Plus 2,000.
It's 10th.
So top 10. Okay, that seems about right.
And as I was listening to the Homer Hour, the last 2 times the Packers won the Super Bowl, they were less than plus 10,000. I think they were plus 750 one year, plus 450 the other year. They've never gone into a season with this high of odds and actually won a Super Bowl. And so I'm just trying to figure out, this is the whole. You're in your own state. You see your own team. Do you overvalue your own players? Or are we undervaluing our own players? That's why I like to go to the odds, because the odds take into account everybody else.
Yeah, I don't think I can't speak for all Packers fans, but I know here in KBN Nation, I don't think we're overvaluing our players. I think we're very critical of the defensive side of the football because we understand there's not enough defensive playmakers and difference makers. And we saw what Xavier McKinney can do. When you have a difference maker like that, that's a guy who can have as many interceptions as your team had in the season in a couple weeks, right? And then you think about on the offensive side of football, we complain about the wide receivers being young, youthful, and nobody emerging quite yet. So I believe we are very critical of this football team. And that's why when I look at this roster, I think the odd makers are right. The Green Bay Packers probably are the 10th best football team in the NFL. They're a good team. Don't get it twisted. But at this point in time, the Packers have a lot to prove. in Ben and mostly Strofe, you may be, you don't care that Jair is gone, but you're not very confident in this Packers team going into 2025 as a Super Bowl contender. You are waiting and seeing. We have to see what they are going to be because we have to see what Hobbs is going to be on this defense. We have to see if Edgerrin Cooper takes that quote-unquote next step. We have to see whether or not a healthy Kenny Clark, now his foot isn't all messed up, and whether there's a lot of things that we have to see in order for us to know if this team is going to be competitive. And most of the times going into the season, the teams that are Super Bowl favorites, you kind of already know what they have because they're bringing guys back to make a run. Yes, the Eagles finished the season poorly 2 years ago, but we still knew they started off 10-1. They had talent.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be your comp to, I guess, the Lions this year because it was the same situation, losing both your coordinators. I still think...
But they went to the Super Bowl before that.
Well, who?
Before going 10-1, then sucking. The Eagles also had won in the Super Bowl before that.
And the Lions may have lost their coordinator, but they still had their players.
There are very clearly at least 2, if not 3 teams in the NFC that are ahead of the Packers. The obvious 2 are Detroit and Philadelphia.
Who would be the third in your mind?
Either Washington or San Francisco. Those would be the other 2 teams I'd throw out there.
You believe in San Francisco like that already again?
I do believe in the Niners, yes.
It's hard not to when they consistently
have a track record.
They were almost. It's not a fair comparison because they didn't make the playoffs, but they were almost like the Eagles of 2 years ago. Just a team that, oddly enough,
the Eagles are the Super Bowl favorite. The Lions are the next at plus 900. They're behind the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs. 3 AFC teams. So NFC, 3 AFC teams, NFC. Then you go Niners, Commanders, Bengals, Packers, and Rams are right by each other. You'll find them. So they're anywhere from the 9th to 10th best odds to win the Super Bowl. But when you look at those first 4 teams, and I'm even taking Detroit out of this because I personally loved Detroit last year, but I don't know what they're going to look like without coordinators. Mm-hmm. But I know what the Eagles are going to look like. They're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. They're going to run the football, and they have a quarterback that's been there twice now. The Ravens, we know the Ravens are going to be in the mix. They're going to have a great regular season. Can they win the playoffs? Buffalo, Josh Allen had his best season, and he arguably had the least amount of weapons he's ever had. He's a certified, an elite quarterback. The Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, say no less. And so when you look at the rest, the Packers are in the rest. And are they good enough in that rest to actually be like, yeah, I think this is a year in which we're like...
You're going to lean on Jordan Love again. You're going to lean on quarterback position.
That's what I'm at. Jordan Love has to be great for this team to be great.
Yes, it is.
And is that fair or unfair?
Yeah, I just look at it and I say, what are the Packers trying to do? Because it seems to me like they're trying to be good to very good any given year, not necessarily be that elite team. When I look at the Packers, I want to know, what are they doing to break through to where they are, right? They're trying to break through from this wild card, 9, 10, 11 wins. What are they doing and what have they done to take the next step? That's where I would just wonder, what is Goody's goal? To win a Super Bowl and be a true contender on any given year, or try to maintain a high level of play on the field to try to get to that point as many times as he can? Because most of the time, I think the Packers are perfectly positioned as an odds to be the 8th, 9th, or 10th best team in the NFL, which puts you in the wild card.
I've been doing this a long time now. This is probably the meanest breaking news to ever happen.
Now this is some breaking news.
Take it away, Strofe.
According to Ian Rappaport, the Jaguars of Jacksonville, of course, have signed punter Logan Cook to a 4-year, $16 million extension.
I mean, why you got to do that?
That would, of course, be the punter that was drafted and ultimately replaced and ended Brad Nortman's NFL career.
I mean, they made the right decision.
Damn!
He's a really good punter. He's a really good punter.
What were you? Just good?
Yeah.
Were you ever really good?
I had 1 year where I was elite. My second.
Oh, wow. Giving himself the elite tag.
I was.
The Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allen.
I set all the Panther records.
But you weren't all pro?
No.
Who was?
Hecker, maybe?
Oh,
that year?
Sure.
A couple of touchdown throws will do that.
The rest of the time I was probably somewhere between 8 and 18.
What's wrong with Kyle?
Well, Kyle's mic won't turn on, and it's doing all of KBN Nation a favor.
Kyle, just yell.
Hey!
Logan Cook.
There it is.
There it is. Let's go. Are you? Oh, you're messing with him. He's messing with you, Kyle.
No, he's not.
He's not messing with you.
Oh,
All right. Looks like Ben Brust and Brad Nortman and Alex Strofe will be interviewing Jason Wilde Coming up next on Kyle Brust Nortman. Sorry about that news break.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Ben's pretty good at impersonations.
Hey, he's pretty good.
I will give him that.
Either
I'll give
crush
him
him
that.
or suck at him.
He's pretty good at faking it.
Yeah, being a faker.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We've got delays starting off northbound on 43, right around that North Avenue curve, all the way up towards Keefe. We got southbound on 41, backing up from just south of Good Hope Road, all the way down to about Capitol Drive. Northbound slowing from Mayfair Road all the way up to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low of 54. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy, afternoon haze with a high of 76. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Laviga on 94.5 ESPN.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on June 17th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in June 17th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check out your local listings to watch the game.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Day, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman Cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
There's only one store that gives you every possible choice in diamonds.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Truck drivers, are you tired of an outdated truck hurting your paychecks? At Schneider, we add new trucks to our fleet every year to keep drivers moving and racking up the miles. Our easy-to-use technology is designed to keep you safe and comfortable while also boosting your income potential. So, are you ready to get behind the wheel of a more reliable ride? Find jobs near you and apply now at SchneiderJobs.com. That's SchneiderJobs.com.
Sip into a flawless summer. Hey, it's KBN's Brad Nortman. Let carbless, ready-to-drink cocktails be your passport to pool parties, patio hangouts, cookouts, and pure summer bliss. Carbless is here to spark a summer of flavor and fun. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, just 100 calories, and of course, all the good vibes. From fruity flavors to refreshing fizz, Carbless stands out in a sea of same-old seltzers. See what flavors fit your summer. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and enter to win a flawless summer prize pack today.
At Citizens Bank, community banking is you, growing your business with a partner who gets it. It's you, buying your first home with a lender who makes it easy. It's you, building a future with savings that work just as hard as you. And it's us, working together to strengthen our community. Because at Citizens Bank, community banking means you plus us. Visit us at citizensbankwi.bank. Citizens Bank is member FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Right now, more than 100,000 children waiting in foster care need our help. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is focused on finding them safe, permanent homes. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
You're listening to Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
There's a little groupthink going on there. I'm not going to disagree.
3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
He is a good general manager. Anybody who disputes that, they have other issues.
Holding everybody accountable.
I'm not sure that was good enough for us to even play on our show.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle Brust and Nortman.
Are we good? Kyle?
I'm having strove to have to turn my mic on and off. We got
I
Jason
love this. You got Strofe doing everything for you today.
Yeah, I mean, I put in a request for our great engineer to come fix the mic, but
Strofe has a lot of control now.
Yeah,
he has to control whether you have the opportunity.
He always has control. It's just
and just like that, he's using his control. Did you actually turn him off now? I gotta know that time. Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, half of Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Alex Strofe running the show. UKBN Nation at 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless talk and text line. List is more. Listen on the all-new, easy-to-use ESPN Wisconsin app. And, of course, catch everything on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee and at ESPN Madison. What's the dealio here? So I'm feeling we will not have Jason Wilde. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But at the end of the day, Kyle is now under.
So wait,
I don't like this.
I have buzzing in my ear now. Kyle is fiddling with something. I hear static in my ear.
Stop touching things. You're not an engineer.
Oh gosh.
No. Your mic is on. No. Just.
Is my mic on?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Brad, you good? I gotta make sure everyone's okay.
I have buzzing in my left ear now. Buzzing in my left ear.
But how do we know that's not just your left ear and not the headphone?
Let's test it out. It's the headphone.
Okay. Well, you have ear problems.
I do. I do have ear problems.
So don't you feel like that was worth? That's what I was
the
checking.
whole thing's going haywire.
Sorry, Brett. Okay, do we have Jason?
We have Jason now. Jason Wilde joins us here on Kyle Bruss Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, what's going on?
Sorry to keep you waiting. Did I miss the recap of the bachelor party?
Not a huge recap.
Actually, we haven't talked about it at all.
Yeah, no, I haven't talked about it at all. Other than the fact I just
We can
need
keep
sleep.
it that way.
Just need sleep, Jason. That whole going west and staying up till 2 a.m. is 4 a.m. Central. And next thing you know, it's like, wow, that's way later than I would ever stay up at home. It's neither here nor there.
West. So you went to lacrosse?
Yes. I went to lacrosse where they party hard
Prairie
there.
du Chien.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Did not go to Vegas, and I'm glad I did not. Now, Jason, it's good to have you, obviously, every day. But on a day like today, where Jair Alexander, as of, I want to say 15 minutes ago, per the Packers, they put out a tweet saying, thank you, Jair, which I don't think is official, but kind of makes it official. What do you make of where we started to where we got to?
Yeah, we kind of ended up where most of us felt like it was going to end up, right? I mean, was it Peter Schrager? Was that who it was? I talked to Matt LaFleur at the draft, and
I think Schrager right when he came to ESPN.
Yeah, they went to dinner together.
Yeah, and it's not the way it's been presented in the media. That was the thing that he said. I'm waiting for him to say, "Oh, it turns out it was the way it was presented in the media." Like, I don't know, I know Pete doesn't listen to our show, but like, I never thought that the coaching staff or the players were on bad terms with him. It was always a question of if Jair Alexander was going to play for the Packers, it was going to be at the Packers' price. It was certainly not going to be at the current price of his contract. And I know we talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago when there was the report from The Athletic that he was going to come to minicamp. And, I think there were a lot of people that took that as, oh, God, see, he's coming back. He's going to be back. He wants to be with his teammates. Even though his contract situation's not resolved, he's going to come anyway because he's a Packer. And that was never what this was about. This was about, hey, I'm coming to camp. I'm coming to the minicamp. If you don't want me out there under the current contract, you're going to have to improve the one that's on the table because that's not enough for me to sign it and take that pay cut and hope to recoup whatever I lose in terms of pay.
Jason, will it come out? Like, what do you think it will ever get leaked out how much the Packers offered him?
I am certainly going to ask some of the guys that know him best, since, as Strofe well knows, I never officially cleared the final hurdle of having Jair's phone number after he put me through the vetting process. So I hope so. Like, I hope we get some answers on that. I don't know his agent, John Thornton, very well. I think other guys that cover the team do, so maybe they'll get it out of him on what the Packers offer was and what Jair was seeking. I wouldn't think that would happen until, at the very least, he signs with someone else. And look, the other part of this, I think it was Jordan Schultz who reported that the Packers and Bills had the parameters of a trade worked out earlier this offseason, but Jair wouldn't adjust his contract for that trade. And frankly, if Jair had asked my opinion, I would have been happy to give him my number. But I would have said, yeah, don't do it. Now you have 31 teams. There's at least the possibility that you'll have multiple teams interested in your services. And then you at least can do some negotiation of, okay, well, I understand there's concerns about my durability. I understand that part of this contract is going to be predicated on how many games I play or what accomplishment levels I reach. I don't have a problem with the Packers doing that, but they were, there's a hypothetical number. He was due $16 million. Let's say the Packers said, no, we'll do $6 million, and then you can earn the other 10 plus back through incentives. If I'm him, I got to be thinking I can do better than $6 million for 2025, right? So now you get a couple teams, competing for your services. And again, I don't know. Maybe teams don't view him as that worthwhile. But I would think the old saying about you can never have too many corners is always proven true. And now there's one who's only 28 years old, who certainly has had injury issues and some behavioral issues. But if I gave you the choice right now as a team other than the Packers between taking a chance on Jair Alexander and taking a chance on the Rams corner, Jalen Ramsey, who are you taking? I think I'd rather take a chance on Jair if I'm another team.
Jason, and I think about this, and this is a quick little comment. I just don't want the news to get out, and I feel like I felt with Aaron Jones, I believe he signed for $7.5 million, $8 million, or something like that, and the Packers offered him $6 million. So I just hope it isn't like the Packers really just lowballing a guy that still has something left in the tank.
Yeah, the classic story is the one about Jordy.
That's where my one went.
Was 1 year, $2 million.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And then he signed for $14 million with the Raiders, and all he wanted to do was finish his career with Rodgers and the Packers and play one last season. So, but again, Goody's not a sentimental guy. I think we can say that for certain.
Well, and that's why I'm curious on if there was a contract extended to Jair that did even allow him to earn his way back to what he made, because that would have made sense, in my opinion, for both teams, right? Because you get a good cornerback for the Packers, and Jair has the opportunity to earn it back, because I think most people, at least as far as KBN Nation, were frustrated at his lack of ability. But Jason, now we're looking forward. And I'm not going to go through the list of top wide receivers that the Packers play this year. Not going to bore you with that list, but it's stacked. It is absolutely stacked. So what do you make of the cornerback room now? Who is cornerback one? Because I feel like they're depleted without Jair.
Yeah, and I think there's been folks that have said this, and I think Mark Murphy said it apparently too, that they played 10 games last year without Jair, so they know how that works. Now they don't have Eric Stokes, they don't have Robert Rochelle, they don't have Corey Ballantyne, which again, none of those guys are Darrelle Revis in his prime or anything like that. But you look at their depth chart right now, and it's Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and Nate Hobbs. Then I would say Javon Bullard, even though he's technically a safety, he's a guy that they play inside a lot, so he's an option. They can always move the other three guys around. If there's an injury to one of those three, the other two that are remaining can play outside, and Bullard can be their inside guy. Then it's Kalen King, who didn't play a single snap last year and was on the practice squad all year. Then another 7th-round pick this year in Micah Robinson, and then it's a few other guys that have been in the mix during OTAs, no one of, any renown. So I would say this, if they went into the Detroit game in the opener with their top 4 quote unquote cover guys, because look, they're still stacked at safety. This is not a defensive backfield as a whole issue. This is a corner issue, which I would argue was an issue even if Jair had come back. And why only drafting one in the 7th round, makes you wonder, what their depth is going to look like. But if it's Keyshawn Nixon, Nate Hobbs, Carrington Valentine, and Javon Bullard, I feel okay about that. But again, no secondary is going to stay fully healthy, everyone, for all 17 games. So their depth is an issue. And I don't know if Kalen King is ready, but it sure feels like a team, just like in the old Ted Thompson days, that for whatever reason, if a guy's not on their team anymore, it's the next man up, and it's a young guy that's going to have an opportunity to prove that he's up to the task.
Do you think this defense, though, is prepared? Because before, when you talk about during Ted's years, I mean, every single year wasn't that way, but I feel like the Packers just had more bona fide veterans. We're looking at the roster, and granted, it was the Super Bowl roster, but you look at the guys like Tramon Williams getting a chance to play with Nick Collins, getting a chance to play with Charles Woodson. Like, it seems like there's bona fide guys. Are you concerned at all that there isn't just enough bona fide guys on this defense outside of Xavier McKinney?
And Edgerrin.
I love Edgerrin, but he's still got to prove something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know if it's a lack of bona fide guys. Maybe this is saying the same thing in different words, but to me, it's relying on guys that you've seen flashes of becoming far more consistent and become bona fide guys, right? Like, I like Evan Williams a lot. I've compared him to Micah Hyde a bunch. That's who he reminds me of. He had good moments last year, but then he also missed some extended time with, I think it was a hamstring. Javon Bullard had some moments. I don't think LVN had a whole lot of moments. Rashawn Gary had some moments. Early on in the season, Devontae Wyatt had some moments. Edgerrin Cooper had more than just a few moments. He's defensive player of the year, of the season, of the week. I knew I'd get there eventually. Defensive player of the week twice last season in his first year in the league. It wasn't a rookie award. It was an overall award those 2 weeks he won it. So that's pretty legit. Quay Walker seemed to be trending in a really good direction. Then he hurt his ankle, missed 3 games, and wasn't very good against the Eagles. So, yeah, they don't have bona fide established studs. They have guys that you think could be studs. And if they turn out to be studs, then they're in a pretty good place. If they don't, and they're still kind of sometimes really good, sometimes not as good, then that obviously is not as ideal of a situation.
Jason Wilde, we appreciate the time. Look forward to listening to you all week on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon across these various stations. And, of course, speaking with you on Thursday right here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde. And also, you should be checking out Road America, America's National Park of Speed. The IndyCar XPEL Grand Prix is up next. June 19th through the 22nd, one of my favorite weekends of the summer is when IndyCar comes to Road America. Camp on site all weekend long. Enjoy the best campgrounds, something to do for everyone, a concession stand that has state park feel to every single one you go to. Clean bathrooms. I'm telling you, if you haven't made plans for the 19th through the 22nd, camp out, rent an RV. I've done it very quick. Boop, rent it, get your spot. Boop, you're there. You grill out. You have a great time. You bring some friends. You come for the experience, and you stay for the race for the IndyCar XPEL Grand Prix coming up June 19th through the 22nd. RoadAmerica.com. More Kyle Brust and Ortman reacting with you. 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talking text line next.
This is Kyle Brust and Nortman, KBN.
You should be happy Pac-Man Jones has had this on his headphones, or he definitely would have pulled it up on you.
I think Pac-Man's lucky I didn't have this on my headphones.
Oh, you right.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
We got delays starting off northbound on 43, right around that North Avenue curve, all the way up towards Keefe. We got southbound on 41, backing up from just south of Good Hope Road, all the way down to about Capitol Drive. Northbound slowing from Mayfair Road all the way up to Hampton. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. Now checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 54. Then tomorrow, partly cloudy, afternoon haze with a high of 76. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's national park of speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. IndyCar XPEL Grand Prix is up next on June 19th through the 22nd. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Set sail this June for a boundless bounty at Potawatomi. Come aboard, and you might win a share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Just play with your rewards card for entries. Prize drawings on Thursdays. Boundless Bounty this June at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
For over 50 years, Cousin Subs has celebrated and embraced the traditions of their home state of Wisconsin. And now, Cousins will be honoring a Wisconsin tradition like no other with their pull tab giveaway promo. Now through July 6th, while supplies last, guests will receive a Cousins pull tab with a sub or sub-able purchase for a chance to win Cousins Subs for a year and much more. For additional info and official rules, visit cousinsubs.com/pull tabs. One pull tab per customer per transaction per day. To receive a pull tab with no purchase necessary, see official rules.
It's WTMJ's Brandon Stein for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. The road is calling, and Wisconsin Harley-Davidson has you covered with amazing rides in June. On Saturday, June 14th, you have 2 rides to choose from, either Dogs and Hogs or Sign Effects Ride for veterans. Then Saturday, June 21st, it's the Wisconsin Hero Outdoors Ride for veterans. 2 amazing rides for 2 amazing causes. All info for these rides can be found at WISHD.com or find them on Facebook under their events. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Kevin Moret here for Mentality. Life's a relentless competition, and you might be losing without even knowing it. With testosterone levels plummeting 25% in just 2 decades, you're likely operating at a fraction of your potential. Your kids sense it when you're too exhausted for playtime. Your wife notices when that spark fades. Here's the harsh truth. Without addressing low T, nothing works. Diets fail, workouts fall flat, but there's hope. Mentality's FDA-approved treatment restores testosterone by an average of 30%. Don't let low T rob you of life's precious moments. Start at mentalityhealth.com/radio.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
A weekly pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, who is the 1995 UCLA Hoops champ himself, talk everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts. Jair Alexander is officially released by the Green Bay Packers. Not a very long quote from Brian Gutekunst. Thanks him for his time. Sayonara, and onwards we go. Ben Bruss, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman with Alex Strofe running the show. I do want to go to the poll question on Twitter at KBN ESPN. What are you two giggling about?
Because we hate the fact that he has to turn my mic on.
I don't like this.
I feel restricted. I feel so restricted.
I mean,
you feel like a little child.
I actually love the idea of you just sitting directly between Brad and Ben.
I know.
And
I don't know why
way,
you just want to change seats.
That way I could put you all in one camera
But
shot.
I like looking at you guys. We'd all be in a line, kind of like, you know, the great
Let's try it out.
Supper
Let's try it out.
type portrait or the last
On
Supper
Twitter
portrait.
at KBN ESPN. Do you agree with the Packers' decision to release cornerback Jair Alexander?
Hell no.
Hell no from Kyle. Bradley?
That's a no for me.
I wrote yes, actually.
Of course you did. You always want to be different.
Iconoclast, they call that.
Iconoclast, what he said.
I don't know what he said either, but I am with the majority of the people on the poll. 62% said yes, they agree with it. What do we think of this view?
I was just saying, I kind of love it.
I kind of think it's cool. It's like,
oh, it is different.
Three dudes chilling, talking sports, bro.
It's like we're in like kind of a booth and we're all facing the same direction.
Like we're at a sports bar.
It's a little bit weird.
All right. Well, I mean, I'll try anything once.
Anything?
No, that's not true. Not true at all.
I'll try anything once.
Not true at all.
I would have dared you to do a lot of things at my bachelor party.
Yuck. Yuck.
The 62% who said yes. Why?
What do you mean, why?
He's hurt. He's always hurt. He's injured. He never plays. He only plays a couple games.
Strofe, here's why I'm validated by my decision, and I know you are you're okay with it, right? Like, do you agree? You're okay with it?
I do agree, yes.
Yes. When you hear the no's become whiny from Kyle, oh, he's hurt, he's hurt.
That's what y'all sound like. Well, not you.
No, that's not what anybody sounds like.
That's not what he sounds like.
Read the text. How many people? How many people said that he hasn't played in 3 years? How many people said that? He hasn't played. He's never played.
What's wrong with facts? What's your issue with facts?
Because
cold
that's
hard
not factual.
facts.
Saying he has not played in 3 years is not factual. Acting as if he did not make an impact in games that made people cheer is just not factual.
Yeah,
that's my whole thing.
It's one thing if he stinks. It's another thing completely if he just gets injured. None of these injuries are reoccurring.
Oh, I
injuries.
forgot.
It's not like the
we're
knee
just
with
supposed to
Bakhtiari.
risk it. We're supposed to gamble.
You are. You need things to go well in a championship year, and that includes having stud players.
So my thing is, as I continue to mention, if I don't believe he makes them a Super Bowl caliber team or not, but I think talent helps you have a Super Bowl caliber team, and I think when on the field he's talented, I'm okay releasing him because at this point, you know what you got over the last 4 years. It's hard for me to continue. If you guys call him D-Bach 2.0,
I never said that. That was a bad analogy or comparison by Alex.
How is it bad?
Because
how is it bad?
D-Bach could not play. There's a difference between somebody who has a debilitating knee injury that he has not played a single snap of football since the Green Bay Packers released him. Jair Alexander is going to be on the field this year. And I asked Stroff this same question.
How many times is he going to play?
Hell, I mean, based off the average, he's going to get 8 to 12 games. I understand that.
That's not good enough.
But if you are, my thing is this, if you are afraid, if you are nervous and concerned about him signing with a rival team or a team you have to play, then that tells you all you need to know about Jair Alexander, the fact that he can, when he plays, when healthy, he can be an impact player. You don't want him to go to Minnesota. You don't want him to go to Detroit. Why is that?
I never said that. I don't care if he does because I know what he is. He's good when he's on the field, but at this point, after 4 years, when the statistic is he has played in less than half of the games in 4 years, I don't care where he goes.
So you're more upset about just him, his ability to be on the field than just paying him. Because at this point, the money
That's the most important thing as a football fan is your players need to be on the field if they are talented if you're going to win football games.
So Nate Hobbs, he's the guy replacing Jair. They signed Nate Hobbs to
He
play
ain't replacing Jair.
No.
Yeah, Nixon, your kick returner.
If the money is the concern and you don't believe that you wanted to keep him because it came down to money, it didn't come to anything else because the money's already going to be spent regardless. So it came down to the fact that
this is why Elliott Wolf didn't give you the internship because they do have to pay Zach Tom. They do have to pay Elton Jenkins.
The $6 million isn't preventing you from Zach Tom
I get it, but this is how the Packers do things. So why would I be shocked
it is how they
that
do
this
things.
is what they do when someone at the end of their contract and he's getting up in age, he's 28, but he feels like he's 33 based off the amount of years we've seen him actually play on the football field.
You can still cut him after this upcoming season. This was simply just Goody being a stubborn individual. That's what it comes down to. Is Goody was being stubborn. This is not. He did not do enough around. Unless, and you don't believe it, and we don't know enough about Nate Hobbs. But unless Nate Hobbs all of a sudden becomes,
he was also very injured in his tenure.
He was.
So that's why.
But that's okay. It's okay with him because his injury. Yeah, he was injured. Yeah. He was injured this last year, and so. But that's okay because he wasn't injured for us. But that's the hypocrisy. I'm glad you brought that up. That's the hypocrisy of some Packers fans and our general manager. The fact that this
Stop
guy
yelling at me because I'm the one who was still saying, although they didn't bring Jair Alexander back, the reason why I'm frustrated is because none of the actions that they have made since Goody has talked about urgency has really transformed in getting Packer fans excited that they can actually win a Super Bowl.
I just think the team lost
it's
more
two
than
different conversations, in my opinion.
I just believe the Packers lost more than they gained today. And that is surprising. Somebody who wants the Packers to win a championship. Again, Jair Alexander was not the missing piece, but he was a supporting cast member that could help you get there. So that's all I'm saying. The team was better off when Jair was on the field healthy with them than without.
Yeah, if he plays 8 to 10 games, and those are important games, and he plays the normal Jair type caliber, I'm good with it. I actually feel good with that. Hopefully he's healthy for the playoffs, something like that. I know I'm using the word hopefully, but he's a talented player.
I'm shocked at this Brad stance.
Top 10 quarterback, and you got to be able to stack talent when you can. And yes, this is football. It's a physical game. I know I was in the safe zone when on the football field, so it's something for me to say that. But the reality is you need as much talent as possible, and you have to stay as healthy as possible. The health part is not fully in your control, but you can focus on stockpiling as much good players as you can. And yes, I am going to use the word hope. You just hope they stay healthy. In the same way we hope Jordan Love stays healthy. We hope Josh Jacobs stay healthy. Xavier McKinney, you just hope they stay healthy, and they hope they can play a full season and be at their best.
Let's go out to Oak Creek on the Carbless Talking text line.
Hey, guys. Hey, love the show. Calling all the time. I just wonder, is this cutting Jair part of a bigger picture? Maybe, hopefully, something that we'll find out in the days to come, but maybe going after Hendrickson from Cincinnati with some of the money they freed up.
Thank you for the call.
I mean, they got a roster spot now.
Guys, stop doing this to yourselves.
They've got a roster spot now.
Stop
they'll
doing
They'll have a few more at the end of preseason, too, Brad.
The fact that we are looking for what are they going to – everybody wants to know what is next for this football team, because this can't be it. You can't be marching this football team out
but
there.
Jair was never that answer anyway.
What do you mean you can't march this football team out there?
They're good. They're like another
This is the
6 or
football
7
team
seed.
they marched out there for 12 games last year.
I know, and they're good.
And
they're not
good.
great.
They won 11 games.
Yeah, they're good.
Wait a minute.
Agreed, they're good.
They're
Three
good.
against the AFC South, and you would agree that this last year's team didn't look very good. They weren't a good looking.
They weren't a great team. They were good.
Exactly.
All right, what are they now? Are they good or great?
I think until proven otherwise, they're good, but they have the potential to be great for sure.
What about the cornerback room makes you think they're going to be great?
Another year of development for Carrington Valentine.
A 7th round pick, so he has a ceiling. I love
But a guy
CV.
who's played as a starter his first 2 years in the league.
I've been a fan of CV
Invaluable experience.
I've been a fan of CV since we drafted him, but I feel like CV has.
I
a
love
ceiling.
CV.
But I feel like CV has a ceiling. I don't think he'll ever be anything like Jair Alexander was. He's a guy that loves to compete out there, but he ain't going to be a guy you can march out there.
Way to go out on a limb and say a guy won't be an all-pro.
The 7th round pick who's really bad won't be an all-pro.
Well, that's the
whole
not,
point.
All pros are not common in this league. If you have one,
when's the last time Jair was an all-pro?
2022.
It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, and the reason why is because he hasn't played. So you
So
retain
why
him.
is it?
So
You know, are we
Let's do Charles Woodson out of retirement.
We're
Don't
talking
get Clay Matthews.
circles
Retain
now.
him
We're
and
talking
hope
in
he stays
circles. I
There's-
respect
you don't
you
have another
two.
all-pro.
Actually, I don't like that they're sitting next to each other because now
feels right.
they're both like turning their head at the same time. Like, yeah.
Freaking
cronies.
And hope he stays healthy.
They're just a bunch of puppets for each other.
I just, for me, again, this is maybe, I don't know if I'm not doing a good enough job communicating. I get paid to do that. But for me, when I look at this situation and I think about, was it worth paying more money just to keep, and when I say more money, actually paying what you promised to pay him, that was the contract. Was it worth just keeping Jair and running it back and seeing if he can stay healthy, or just cutting him? I just felt like the football team was better off, as Brad said, trying to keep him out there to see if he's going to be healthy than not having him on the team at all. I just feel like this football team got a little bit worse because you have less talent on this football team. That is all that it is about. Because you gain nothing from cutting him. You gain nothing from releasing him. Nothing. You gain nothing today.
Yes, but if they had the opportunity to gain something, they would have pulled the trigger.
No, but
it's been 6 months and they haven't been able to gain anything other than $6 million in cap space.
Who's going to have a better season at corner this year? Jair Alexander, Keyshawn Nixon.
It's a question we can't. It's too hypothetical to actually answer.
At the end of the season, we'll look at Pro Football Focus and see who was better in coverage. We'll see who has more interceptions.
The holy grail, Pro Football Focus.
Stats, baby.
I care about availability a lot more than I care about PFF.
Sure, you care about availability.
Do you got a minimum games that he's got to play for us to actually do this comparison?
Sure. I'd rather have somebody available average. An average guy available. That's great. Cool.
I'd rather have an average guy available and get the reps 17 games out of like
and get
4.
cooked. Yeah, I'd rather get
Well,
cooked.
Yeah,
I'd rather
four
get
is
cooked. I'd rather
very
get cooked
low.
in 17 games.
How many
versus having-
touchdowns did Carrington Valentine allow last year? One?
said what?
How many touchdowns did Carrington Valentine allow last year? I think the answer is one.
I don't want to be mean to Carrington because I love that boy. But I remember the playoff game. My boy got stiff-armed like a little child as he was trying to tackle and failed to tackle him. You remember that too, don't you?
I was there, yeah.
Is it Dallas Goedert?
I was like, yeah,
That
I
was
was like,
tough.
dang, man, I love CB, but he looked like a kid out there. That's all I'm saying.
So now he's arguing.
Are we positive it was Valentine, though?
No, it was Keish. It was Valentine. It was Valentine. It was. Poor guy.
I'm going to look it up in the break.
Look, no, go ahead. Play it on the screen on the YouTube.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman.
I put my card in, I pump. When it clicks, I pull it out, I put it away, and I move on to my own. That's what I do.
what she said. Thanks so much, Schulte.
She pumps and moves on with her life.
Take it out, put it in, move
That's
on.
what she said.
Come on, Kyle. Keep up. That's Packers Hall of Famer. That was one of my better ones, and he's confused.
On ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And I think that's where the quarterback has to lead. The quarterback has to know what that receiver's doing, has to know what that left tackle's doing.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
It's a big burden. That's why they make big bucks, because that is what is expected of them, and they just want to make sure that you know what you're doing, because it is a reflection on them as a leader if you don't.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
You love her twice as much today as the day you married her, right?
Welcome to Kessler's.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
SGA was conscious of getting the others involved throughout the entirety of the game. In game one, we saw more of a heliocentric game plan. Everything orbited around SGA, not really necessarily sharing the basketball, 38 points on 30 shots. Last night, he did a much better job of facilitating a democratic offense. And I thought that's exactly how OKC has played all year long. That's why they've been so dominant. SGA scored 34 points in last night's game on 21 shots. So looks a lot different. And then, oh, by the way, I'm going to throw in 8 assists for good measure. That's the version of SGA that OKC needs in order for this team to be at their best, and they got it last night. So I'm willing to dismiss game one as finals debut jitters for SGA, but it's clear that he's the one that sets the tone, and when he gets the others involved early, it tends to lead to good things for OKC on both sides of the court.
Something amazing is happening. Technology is working harder, faster, and more reliably. It's delivering results that work. But who makes technology work? CDW. We're a full-service technology solutions provider, advising our clients and designing customized solutions so they can reach their goals and do amazing things. CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde, and Father's Day is Sunday, June 15th. Get Dad something he can really enjoy. Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles. Order at Kringle.com and send Dad his favorite flavor, like their bourbon pecan. That's my favorite. To complete the gift, you can add a bag of gourmet coffee to your order, and you will be Dad's favorite child. Go to Kringle.com or call 800-4DANISH and have it shipped right to Dad. Kringle.com or 800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles. It's not just a treat, it's a tradition.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
The Golden Mast is offering relaxing rides on Okauchee Lake aboard their brand new Bay Runner pontoon patio. Enjoy 2-hour cocktail cruises on Thursdays and Sundays. Get tickets at goldenmastin.com. Private event rentals also available. Bigger boat, more people, more fun. goldenmastin.com.
I feel so stuck.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Dial 988, then press 1 to call.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, trying out a new video view on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee.
Not on purpose.
What's the overall feel of it?
I dig it. I'm a fan.
I like seeing us all in one shot.
You three all snuggled up tight one another. It actually looks like you like each other.
It is kind of nice.
I think it looks good. Let us know what you think on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee.
I need to have a cigar in
Chef
my
Ed
mouth,
is mad at me again.
What'd you do this time?
Goodness gracious. I don't know. I just got back from my bachelor party. I'm sleep deprived, Chef Ed. Leave me alone.
What did you do? He just said he's mad.
I'm just wasting my words and time with you, Ben. Don't try feeding me the crap that you're busy and missed my text.
Oh,
You did actually just say you were tired, not busy.
That is
That was
true.
the crap.
Yeah, that was the crap today. The crap today.
Chef Ed seems like a tough cookie to crack, man. I'm telling you.
I don't got time to crack that.
I
cookie.
would hate to be dating Chef Ed. My goodness.
Come on, Kyle.
What, she busy at work?
why
She
can't it
busy?
make
Don't
you
text.
happy?
Don't text him back and
Right,
get that.
right. You just out with the girls, and all of a sudden he said, "Oh, so this is what we gonna do." I text you 5 times in 10 minutes. You ain't gonna say nothing back, honey. I was just using the bathroom. I think, honey, nothing. Chef Ed, chill. We love you.
Did you know that Brad Nortman met another former punter this weekend?
Not former.
No, current.
Current punter.
Right. We'll get to that.
Oh, he's getting tired. He's starting to crash.
He's fading.
He's starting to crash.
I thought I had.
I got it. Jim, Matt, and Molly up next to Madison. The Damn Sports Show up next to Beaver Dam. We're